President Trump also said that usually in these ceremonies they stop, the differences with the previous presidents, but he also showed his difference and made some direct attacks on Joe Biden and his administration. He said that the Joe Biden administration is failing to defend its own people while spending so much money on defending other countries' borders. What will be the implications of these on organizations like NATO? As we remember that Trump was always saying all the time that America is not going to take care of other countries. Everybody has to pay their share. How is it going to affect those alliances?
We could be very well see the eventual breakup of NATO. I mean, Trump, it depends on how differently Trump governs in his second term versus his first term. I mean, he has for years talked about getting European countries to pay more for their defense against, what should be a non-existent enemy. And I mean, since the dissolution of the Soviet Union, NATO has really been obsolete, which is why they've had to manufacture this new Cold War with Russia to justify their existence. But nevertheless, Trump has, for many years now, talked about threatening to pull the U.S. out of NATO if European countries don't fork over more money for their defense. We've also seen significant fracturing within the anti-NATO or anti-Russia bloc in NATO and the EU with the likes of Hungary and Slovakia. Trump's approach, I mean, the Ukraine debacle is all but lost. And, Trump has pledged to negotiate an end to that quagmire. Whether or not he governs differently in his second term will determine that. I mean, he had pledged to not get involved in that, but then he ended up actually being the first president to send lethal aid to Ukraine. Obama had declined to do so reluctantly because of the rank corruption in Kiev, but Trump was actually the one that first sent lethal arms to the Banderite regime in Kiev. So it depends on how much he follows through. But if he does negotiate an end, I mean, a lot of these European countries, the citizenry are up in arms about how the European economy, countries like Germany, their economy has totally been destroyed by the amount of money that's been put into this Ukraine war. And, we saw the U.S. Seemingly bomb the Nord Stream 2 pipeline in the Baltic Sea, which was a pipeline that was set to go into effect between Russia and Germany, allowing Russian gas to flow into the European Union. And the U.S. Did everything it could to sabotage it. And when that didn't work, they resorted to outright terrorism. And so, the European citizenry is slowly becoming aware of this, and we're seeing the ascendancy of these right-wing populist candidates who are very anti-NATO and anti-EU coming to power. The West has been meddling in those elections trying to stop it, but the longer this Ukraine debacle goes on, we're going to see the more and more fracturing within NATO. And so Trump coming to power is just the latest development in terms of that. So,
right.
We could see a shift in that regard. Whether or not he's sincere about his isolationism, I'm not sure.
Yes, Max, thank you so much. Max Parry, journalist and political analyst, joining us from Baltimore. Also, Ashish Prashal, former West Asia Peace Envoy advisor, joining us from New York. We watched live